Hope you're well. J.M. Wood, Honey Hole Farm. It's the very first part of April, man. The nectar flow's really picking up. Got a lot of activity in the bee yard here. I'm going to check on a couple of hives today. I'm going to look for, make sure there's no queen cells, make sure we got good nectar coming in, good population, plenty of room. Just make sure I don't see anything that could disrupt the flow right now. So stay with me. You can tell the bees are really starting to have some great activity out here. There's a lot of foragers out right this moment. They're really piling in and out, getting active. Okay, well, I'll just pop the top off here. There's bees up in this upper super. I got too much room on them right this second, but let's just see. They're starting to bring any up. All right. There's bees all in this upper super here. We just see if there's any nectar coming in the very top. Hey, they're starting to bring some up. I can see just a little bit of shine. Bees are prepping this, trying to get it ready. So yeah, that's a good sign. That's all the way up top. So I'll probably switch this one to the bottom next, depending on what's in the bottom. So trying to just cycle it where they always have room. There's some more bees up top. There's more bees in this middle one. Let's see what they're doing in this honey super right here. They're bringing some nectar up. All right, yeah, they're starting to see some good shiny nectar in there. Shiny nectar in there, so they're starting to bring some. I put comb that was already drawn out in most of these frames. Let's just check a frame or two here on this bottom one. Look at this. Oh yeah, they're starting to pack some pretty nectar in here. Look at that shiny. Make sure it doesn't drip too much. Yep, there's lots of nectar in there. Okay, lots of good bee activity there. All right, here's what we're gonna do. So they're starting to bring it up into the honey super's pretty good. All right, get off of there. Queen excluder. All right, boy, they're really up top. All right, so you can see. I pulled that second one. Let's pull the outside one and just check and see. Look at all that pretty nectar. They're slamming it in here. We got tulip poplar right now. We got privet hadn't really, it's starting to hit southern privet. It's actually really tasty around here. Some people call northern privet, they don't like it very much, but we got southern privet in middle Georgia. Just give them a little bit of smoke. All right, let's jump into this upper brood box. Okay, now I added this brood box last week, so it'll be interesting to see how much has been added into this. Now I added frames that had mostly honey, or not honey, but comb. Look at this. This thing is packed with nectar. Could have the queen up here, so I'm gonna be on the lookout. Packed with nectar on the outside. It should be like that glistening nectar. Just beautiful. They are loading it in. This hasn't even been here a week. Pretty and dark. Got some beautiful nectar here. All right, I'm actually gonna set this, which is a little bit, you would never set this out a little bit further in the season, but I've got to get myself some room. So there's no queen on there. Look at all this nectar piling into this thing. Wow. They're loading it up, pollen, beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to slide this one over. So that's 2 nectar frames in the top. I'm also looking for the first brood because I'm expecting some packages to come tomorrow. I'm making sure I don't see any. There's more nectar. I don't see brood. This isn't, look at all that brand new nectar coming in. It is piling in. That's why they haven't put it in the supers as heavy yet. They're still stacking. Now this is all brood. This is baby bees. It's probably bees. They're probably the queen up here somewhere. She's not far, but she has been here. The middle of this is all milky white. Hope you can see that. Okay, so we would not want to take that one. That's a brand new one. Brood. All right, so we had several nectar, and the third one in was brood. All right, look at this. Queen may be up top, that's for sure. Drones, those are drones. I'm looking for any type of queen cells. These are pretty. I could take this one and move it over to a package. That'd be a good little set. Not bad. In fact, I might move this one to the end. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna keep going. Just to look at my choices here. I know what I've got. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking through. Now I'm gonna pull this one up, but it feels like it was connected at the bottom too. Look at the brood pattern up top. They slammed the middle with nectar because they hatched. Queen couldn't get back quick enough, and they filled it with nectar. Look at all this. Brood. I'm looking for any queen cells. There's some drone cells down there, not worried about that. All right, I'm gonna keep going. That is a brood pattern. But as soon as they're hatching, if the queen's not close by, they're filling it with nectar. That's when you know, man, the flow is on. And they are packing these full. All right, look at all of this drone, brood. They're filling these again in the middle with I might see the queen here pretty soon. Got nectar all the way around, honey. I don't see any more queen cells. I'm looking to see if I see some cups or anything. There's a little bit of torn out drone that just got opened up. They'll actually cannibalize it, eat it back, eat them. It's just what they do. All right, man, there's a lot of bees in this thing. That's the upper box too, not even the bottom brood box. All right, I pulled the next frame. Look at this beautiful nectar. Man, they have packed it full. Look at this flow. In 1 week, week of April 1st, I mean, they are absolutely wearing out the nectar. Bringing it in, they're gonna pack this one full. And wow, just a ton of flow going on. I see on this next one, they're building it out as fast as they can just so they can fill it up. Queen might actually be over here. They're filling that one. If I had one that was a little bit more full, I'd stick it in here and they'd fill it immediately. All right, so I might actually take this one. Insert this one that's a little bit more full. Oh, come on. I'll take this one and insert it a little bit further over because it's full of nectar. All right, I'm gonna see what we got here. Lots of room, so still got some room here. All right, they're starting to pack, starting to put a little bit of nectar. So what I'm gonna do is shift this one out. It's got nectar on it already. Move this one a little bit further in. Tell you what, this one had a lot of nectar on it too. I'm gonna move this one in further, right there. And that way they can decide, do they need nectar or do they need space to lay? Totally full. I mean, packing nectar. Pollen, nectar, beautiful. Gosh, look at this. All right, and then let's just glance at this last one here before I close up this upper top and go into the bottom. See what we got. Lots. Yeah, they got nectar, full nectar. Piling it in. Don't see any queen cells. All right, I'm gonna jump into the bottom brood box after I add that other one back. Okay, I'm gonna pop this top box. Gosh, that's got a lot of weight. Lord, that's heavy. There's a lot of bees in there. Look at this. Look at this bottom. There's some bees here. And I knew it before. They needed some more room. And they're building combs so fast. Look at here. I'm just pulling this comb off. They're running out of room here, but I'm going to try to give them a little bit more space. All right, let's. What I'll do pretty soon is start pulling full frames out of here, give it to other hives that don't have as much honey on them. Put some more full ones in. Like there's a full frame right there. They got room to put honey. They got room to put honey there. I don't see the queen on this one. Right off the bat, let me just make double sure because I'm gonna set this one out. No queen. There's a big drone. A couple of big drones in here. Do not see the queen, so I'm gonna stick this one right here and give us some room to work. Alright, let's just start in here. They're starting to fill some nectar in here. Starting to build this out a little bit. Nectar. Lots of pretty nectar going in on the bottom. Pretty drones. Pretty pollen, bee bread. I don't see the queen right off, but this is another nectar frame. So what I may do is slide this one to the outside. I'll insert that other one in here next time. Let me just get some space. Okay, well this is always fun. There's a little baby bee being born right here. Let me see if I can show you this. It's right there. About to come out of that hole, chewing his way out. There's some drones in the middle. There's a queen cup, but there's nothing in it. I always want to check these. It's empty. It's perfectly normal. So pollen, she's laying eggs all around the middle. Queen could definitely be on here. That's a drone sticking out. It's not a queen cell. Honey around the outside. Beautiful. Some pretty dark honey. That must be some tulip poplar. What it looks like to me. Maybe a little privet. Alright, let me keep looking through this box. Just beautiful. Okay, pulled the next frame. Look at this brood pattern. We got a big drone right there. Look at this brood pattern. Beautiful. Got some drones at the bottom. It's perfectly normal. Around the bottom outside. Okay. You can hear that drone flying around. He's got his engine turned up. Lots of pollen around there. I bet that queen's not far off. Got some drones at the bottom. Drones at the bottom. Lots of nectar around the outside. Man, there is a lot of brood in this thing. A ton of brood. This box is in the process of exploding and is exploding right now. There is a lot of bees in here. Look at this brood pattern. Great. It is impressive. Very impressive. A lot of drones on here. Now that tells you there's a lot of queens out there. The other queens that need some drones. So she's firing them up. Older brood pattern here. See how dark that is? The darker is going to hatch pretty soon. That's your older, and then there's the newer around the edge. It's lighter, and you can even see where she just laid some over here. So haven't seen the queen. That's okay. A lot of brood, man. I could make a split if I find another queen or another queen cell. I will consider making a split on these. All right, look at all this. I got pollen all over that bee. Look at this board. It's full of pollens. I hope you can see that. I'm gonna turn it at an angle. Hopefully I can get that color. Just a ton of pollen all over this one. Right in the middle of the brood. There's eggs all over this one. She's got to be close by. There's little bitty eggs and pollen. She may be covered up, but little eggs all in that. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Okay, another frame. Lots of baby bees in here. Tons of little eggs, larvae, all the way around. She is just laying machine. See if I see her anywhere. But there's brood. If I blow, they'll move, see? And you can see all those little baby larvae right there. They're trying to cover up and keep them warm. Now there's a queen cup right up there. No problem, it's not loaded. More drones. I just saw something with some color on it. Okay, I'm just looking around here, make sure I don't see anything. All looks good. Let's keep going. See what else we can find in here. A lot of beautiful bees, man. I'm telling you, this is just a loaded box. Loaded. Okay, lots of pretty nectar. Nectar frame, blowing up the nectar here. It's going crazy. Be how yellow he is. Covered up in pollen. Alright, so the outside's a nectar frame. This one should be another full nectar. Look at that beautiful nectar all the way across. Well, obviously I've probably missed over the queen, but that's okay because there's tons of evidence of the queen. I'm actually going to flip this one around, let them load this side, and that feels like this one's empty, close to it. So what I'm going to do here is push this one in, so they'll load it, push this one out to the outside, and I'm going to push every single one of these this way. And I'm going to scoot this to the outside, this one outside one that's full of honey, and I'm going to take this one that's less full right here. Get the pine straw off of here. Alright girls, sorry. And I'm just going to stick it right there, and they'll finish loading that thing up with nectar. So I get the pine straw out of here. Okay, well I got the second box put back on top of the first. Just reached over and pulled it. This box is a little bit heavier and got some in it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna take the top box that has very little in it other than comb, stick it right on top. Wait a minute. First I'm gonna put my queen excluder, very important. Oh, almost missed that, and then the queen could have come up. That would not have been good. All right, now I'm gonna take this, load this box. I'm gonna take this heavier box now. Put it in the middle. And then the one with room, if they know where some of the honey is, I'm gonna put it right on top. Now I'll button this up. Okay, well this little hive, or big hive, did really good today. I'm gonna check on some others, but I'll tell you what, didn't see any queen cells that I could tell. Saw a ton of brood. This thing is just exploding. This queen's going to town. Didn't see the queen, but I wasn't slowing down to look for her too much either. But there's plenty of evidence of her. So, man, they're bringing in the nectar like crazy. They'll be filling up these supers before you can turn around. Really encouraged by what I saw. Okay, good luck with your bees. God bless.